Today we will discuss viscosity. Our topic is second chapter is mechanical properties of fluid, and in this mechanical properties of fluid, the subtopic is viscosity. So we will discuss viscosity. Viscosity is the part of fluid in motion, not fluid at rest. So first we see what is viscosity. Viscosity is nothing but the force of friction, simply. But the word friction we oftenly use in a case of solid, and in case of liquid, the same concept of friction is referred as viscosity. So what is viscosity? Before to explain or before to define viscosity, we first of all see some examples. So take first example. If we take water in a glass and pour on a plain surface, then water will flow quickly, very fast on the plain surface. Now second example, if we take same amount of honey in a glass, and if we pour that honey on the plain surface, then it will flow very slowly as compared to the water. It means that in case of water, there is a very weak opposition between the adjacent layers. Whereas in case of honey, there is a strong opposition between the layers of honey or between the adjacent layers of honey. Again we take same example in other way. मराठीत सांगतो, लवकर समजेल तुम्हाला. समजा आपण एका बॉटलमध्ये पाणी घेतलं आणि एका बॉटलमध्ये हनी घेतलं, म्हणजे मध, शहद. समजा त्या बॉटलला, पाणी घेतलेल्या बॉटलला जर आपण असा इन्क्लाइंड केलं, तिरपी केली, तर त्या बॉटलमधून पाणी एकदम फास्ट आणि खूप लवकर खाली सांडेल. पण जर हनीवाली बॉटल घेतली आणि तिला जर सारखं जर इन्क्लाइंड केलं असं, तर तिथला हनी जो आहे तो पाण्यापेक्षा उशिरा सांडेल, म्हणजे वाट पाहावं लागेल सांडण्याची. याचं कारण असं आहे की पाण्यामध्ये जी विस्कॉसिटी आहे ती कमी आहे, हनीमधली जी विस्कॉसिटी आहे ती जास्त आहे. आणखी एक तिसरा एक्झाम्पल देतो हनी आणि वॉटरचाच. समजा आपण एक मोठा ट्यूब घेतला, म्हणजे जसं हा ट्यूबलाईट असते त्याची पायरी म्हणजे रॉड पूर्ण क्लीन केली, म्हणजे ट्रान्सपरंट. तर एका रॉडमध्ये, एका ट्यूबमध्ये पाणी घेतलं, दुसऱ्या ट्यूबमध्ये हनी घेतलं किंवा ग्लिसरीन घेतली. दोन्ही सारख्या ट्यूब आहेत, सारख्या हाईटचे आहेत, आणि सारख्या क्वांटिटीचं आपण एकामध्ये पाणी घेऊ आणि एकामध्ये ग्लिसरीन किंवा हनी घेऊ. दोघांना उभे ठेवल्या. दोन छर्रे घेतोय आम्ही, स्टील बॉल. दोन छर्रे घेतल्यानंतर मी दोन्ही छर्रे ॲट अ टाइम दोन रॉडमध्ये सोडतोय. दोन रॉडमध्ये सोडल्यानंतर तुमच्या असं लक्षात येईल की पाण्यामध्ये सोडलेला छर्रा तो पटकन खाली जाऊन बसेल, आणि ग्लिसरीन किंवा हनीमध्ये म्हणजे रॉडमध्ये सोडलेला छर्रा तो बिलकुल हळू 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 असं खाली 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 जाताना दिसेल. म्हणजेच काय, तर हनीचे जे लिक्विड लेयर्स आहेत ते काय करतायत, त्या छर्र्याच्या वेटला म्हणजेच फोर्सला ड्यू टू द ग्रॅव्हिटेशन अपोज करतायत. आता हे तीनही एक्झाम्पलवरून तुमच्या असं लक्षात आलं असेल की वॉटर हॅज लेस विस्कॉसिटी, honey has more viscosity, means water opposes less to the relative motion between the adjacent layers. Honey opposes more to the relative motion between the adjacent layers. आलं लक्षात? And this property to oppose, ही जे oppose करण्याची property आहे ना between the relative layers, तर ही oppose करण्याची property म्हणजे viscosity. तर याची डेफिनेशन कशी करणार आपण? The viscosity of a liquid is defined as the property of flow of liquid by virtue of which it opposes to relative motion between the adjacent layers is called viscosity. आलं लक्षात? आता जसं आपण पाणी आणि हनी म्हणजे वॉटर अँड हनी घेतलं होतं, तर हनी इज विस्कस लिक्विड. सो इन विस्कस लिक्विड और इन विस्कस फ्लो different layers flow with different velocities, whereas in non-viscous liquid different layers flow with same velocities. लक्षात? आता हा विस्कॉसिटी आणि अपोजिशन कसा करतो आपण डायग्रामॅटिकली पाहू थोडंसा. पहा, समजा मी हा एक प्लेन सरफेस घेतो आहे, ग्लास प्लेट वगैरे किंवा कोणता तरी प्लेन सरफेस, याच्यावरती हनी सोडलं, तर हनी सोडल्यानंतर समजा ही त्याची पहिली लेयर, ही दुसरी लेयर, ही तिसरी लेयर, ही चौथी लेयर, ही पाचवी लेयर. समजा मी इथली ही एक लेयर घेतोय P, ह्या लेयरची वेलोसिटी V, ही लेयर घेतोय Q, ह्या लेयरची वेलोसिटी आहे dV, V प्लस dV. म्हणजे बॉटम लेयरची वेलोसिटी कमी आणि अपर मोस्ट लेयरची वेलोसिटी जास्त. हिची वेलोसिटी किती असायला पाहिजे मग? V मायनस dV. आणि इथून जर विचार केला तर with respect to the bottom surface horizontal, this distance is x, this distance is x plus dx, म्हणजेच distance between the adjacent layers किती आहे? dx. So layer Q try to increase the velocity of layer P, whereas layer P try to decrease the velocity of Q. Means there is a opposition to the relative motion between the adjacent layers. Means one layer try to increase the speed of other layer and second layer try to decrease the speed of first layer. It means that there is opposition between the relative motion or between adjacent layers, and this property of opposition to the relative motion between the adjacent layers is called viscosity. So let dV be the change in velocity, dV be the change in velocity, dx be the change in, or simply we can say distance between two adjacent layers, and therefore velocity gradient can be defined as the change in velocity per unit distance between the two adjacent layers. This is nothing but velocity gradient. So what is velocity gradient? Velocity gradient is defined as the change in velocity between the two adjacent layers per unit distance between two adjacent layers. Its SI unit is per second or hertz. This is SI unit of velocity gradient. Now we see the Newton's law of viscosity. What is Newton's law of viscosity? So Newton's law of viscosity states that, statement, listen, Newton's law of viscosity states that for a streamlined flow, the viscous force between the two adjacent layers is directly proportional to the area cross section of layer and directly proportional to the velocity gradient. That is a Newton's law of viscosity. We have seen that viscosity. काय सांगितलं होतं viscosity? The property of flow of liquid to oppose the relative motion between the two adjacent layers is called viscosity. And the force of viscosity is called viscous force. Now here we have to see the Newton's law of viscosity. The Newton's law of viscosity states that for streamline flow, we have seen streamline flow. For streamline flow, the viscous force is directly proportional to the area cross section of layers, and this viscous force is directly proportional to the velocity gradient. And therefore, combining these two equations, we can write F directly proportional to area cross section of layer and velocity gradient. This is nothing but the Newton's law of viscosity. We take constant of proportionality, that is F is equal to neta A into dV by dx, where neta is coefficient of viscosity. This neta is the constant of proportionality and it is called as coefficient of viscosity. This is formula for viscous force using Newton's law of viscosity, and therefore from this formula we can write neta is equal to F upon A into dV by dx. This is coefficient of viscosity. Now SI unit of neta is Newton second per meter square. SI unit of neta is Newton second per meter square. CGS unit is poise. CGS unit is poise, and therefore 1 Newton second per meter square is equal to 10 poise. This is relation between SI unit and CGS unit of coefficient of viscosity. This can be written as also dyne second per centimeter square. This can be written as a CGS unit. Now how can we define the coefficient of viscosity? Listen here. Coefficient of viscosity is equal to the viscous force upon area into velocity gradient, and therefore coefficient of viscosity can also be defined as the viscous force acting between the two adjacent layers of viscous liquid per unit area per unit velocity gradient. This is coefficient of viscosity. Again, we can define the coefficient of viscosity is defined as the viscous force per unit area per unit velocity gradient. After this, we explain or we see the Stokes law. What is a Stokes law? Scientist Stokes has given the law for viscous liquid. So we see later on. Now we see Stokes law. So what is a Stokes law? Stokes law states that the viscous force F acting on a small sphere falling freely through a viscous liquid is directly proportional to the radius of the sphere. its velocity through the liquid and the coefficient of viscosity. So consider this is viscous liquid, and suppose this small sphere is dropped through this viscous liquid, then the force due to viscosity is directly proportional to the radius of this sphere, is directly proportional to the velocity of the sphere. This velocity is called terminal velocity and is directly proportional to the coefficient of viscosity, and therefore let F be the viscous force of liquid, and suppose that small sphere is freely falling through this viscous liquid. R be the radius of sphere, V be the velocity of that sphere, and beta be the coefficient of viscosity. Then according to the Stokes law, this force is directly proportional to radius, this force is directly proportional to velocity, and this force is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity. After combining these three equations, we can write F directly proportional to neta R V. Now we take some constant of proportionality, and this constant of proportionality is nothing but 6 pi. This is number 6 pi into neta R V. This is nothing but Stokes law of viscosity, where 6 pi is the number, pure number, and it is constant of proportionality. As it is a pure number, it has no SI unit and no dimensions. After this, we will derive an expression for this velocity V. This is called terminal velocity. So first we see what is terminal velocity, and then we derive the expression for terminal velocity. So we see first what is terminal velocity. So terminal velocity is nothing but the minimum velocity of flow of that sphere. Terminal velocity V. So consider a sphere is freely falling through this liquid, and as it drop into this viscous liquid, after covering certain distance, this sphere attained the constant speed and fall freely through the liquid with this constant speed. This constant speed attained by the sphere freely falling through the viscous liquid is called terminal velocity, and we derive an expression for this terminal velocity. So consider a spherical body of radius r is freely falling through the viscous liquid. Then the force acting on this ball or sphere are forces acting on sphere are: number 1, upthrust, that is upward force; number 2, viscous force due to the Stokes law, that is upward force; and third, weight mg, that is a downward force. Now this upthrust force is nothing but, upthrust force means this is the force exerted by the sphere which drop into the liquid. Means the force exerted by the weight of the liquid which flows in upward direction and which is equal to the downward force, but the density of liquid and density of sphere is different, and therefore the upthrust and weight of the liquid are different. So we first calculate, let sigma, this sigma be the density of liquid and rho be the density of body. Then upthrust आपण बॉल किंवा बॉडी पाण्यामध्ये टाकलं, पाण्यामध्ये टाकल्यानंतर जेवढा पाणी वर फेकल्या जाते दॅट इज बायोन्सी, त्याला काय म्हणतात बायोन्सी, तर त्या पाण्याचा मास and this can be written as m dash is nothing but sigma into v into g, and therefore sigma into, but v is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube into g. This is a upthrust. Now weight of liquid, weight of body is equal to mg. Now mg means density into v into g is equal to 4 by density into 4 by 3 pi r cube into g. This is weight. Now after combining these three equations and we write upward force is equal to downward force. Now upward force means upthrust plus viscous force is equal to downward force means weight of the body, that is mg. Now upthrust is 4 by 3 pi r cube into sigma into g plus, and viscous force that is according to the Stokes law, that is 6 pi meter rv is equal to mg means 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho into g. Now we can separate this 6 pi meter rv is equal to, take this term to the right side and take it common out, 4 by 3 pi r cube into g in bracket rho minus sigma. Now after cancelling and calculating, so neta is equal to 4 by 18 pi r cube rho minus sigma into g upon this pi, this r into v. Now pi cancel and r square, therefore neta is equal to 2 by 9 r square into rho minus sigma into g upon v. This is a formula for coefficient of viscosity, or v can be written as 2 by 9 r square into rho minus sigma into g upon neta, and this is an formula for terminal velocity of body for freely falling through the viscous liquid. This is an required expression. In this way, our second chapter, that is mechanical properties of fluid, is completed.